Hello everyone, my name is Avkash, and in this unscripted engineering video, let me show you how you can take the best use of GitHub to be a very successful and very productive engineer. Combining GitHub with your local engineering machine and using certain tools, you can be a really very versatile as well as the very productive engineer. So let's get ourselves started. In this section, we are going to cover the GitHub, creating the GitHub account, various repos, connecting them from our local environment so we could push the content back and forth between server and local. And we will also integrate our GitHub projects with Visual Studio Code and uh, PyCharm, because I use all the Python projects I will be using with PyCharm. And PyCharm, you can get also the open source application, the free version of the application through the JetBrains. So let's start first by creating a GitHub profile. Everybody almost have it, but for those who don't have it, they can actually create one. So I will be creating the sign up, and I will be using my this Gmail account. So I will use avkash.autoai@gmail.com. Okay, a password. Okay, yes. By the way, as you could see, that I actually recently got the Pixel Fold 2 newer version from Google. I always use Pixel phones, so that's really kind of very exciting. Okay, so it's connected right now, and I could say, so let me create a password basically. Okay. Of course. Okay, and then I will call it of course dev. Okay, let me call of course 650. That's okay. Okay, we can get preference, and because these sessions are unscripted, I really don't have time to really build them and then edit them. So everything what you see is like whatever comes in my mind is being done here. Okay, solve puzzle. Okay, okay, and submit. Let's save it. Okay, code is being sent. GitHub. Okay, validated. Let's log in. I would describe I'm in neither student nor teacher. I could be okay, let's use a teacher better. Team is working, just me, I can add other people's too. Want to do connect with other developers, continue to open source projects, and there you go. We have our GitHub ready. We don't really need to pay. I'm gonna use the free. Thank you to Microsoft. By the way, I spent 8 years working at Microsoft from 2005 to 2013. I was very early engineer in Azure team. I had fun. We can create a new repo. You can do here, or you can do here. So I will just call it, you know, public coding. Okay, and make it public. Make it private, because that's okay. Public. Okay, okay. I will call it public coding for public and private coding for private. So I have one repo, public coding. I can go back to root. I can repo. I can create a new repo called the private coding, and it's a private. I can say Okay, I can add the readme. There you go. So now we have two repos, public coding and private coding. So these two repo we are going to connect from our local session. So let me come back to my terminal. I will clean this guy. So we already, okay, there you go. So these are the environment we have. Let's go to work folder. I need to go down cd work. We are here, and now we can come back and we will try to clone the private coding. So this is a private coding. Here is the command. Let's copy it. Git clone. Okay, now it's really asking me to config myself. So avkash.auto.ai@gmail.com. Okay, it's asking my password, so I can say so the thing is that, as you could see here, that the password method is not really very good. So I will give you a very more engineering centric way to connect it. So let's come back here and we will look into the settings. In the settings, you go to, you can go to the, let me see, deploy keys. There are no key. Oh, wrong. I need to come to here. I need to look into settings, the developer setting, not the repo setting, because that time I was in repo setting. So because I'm the developer, so I want to set up my developer key so I could use any of my repos. So the problem what I was doing is that when I was in the repo here and I was looking into the repo, so the settings, I was in private coding or public coding, the settings were actually part of that particular repo, but I don't need that. I really need the developer setting. So I will come back here, developer setting, and I will come to here, and here is the developer settings. Here you could see that you have personal access token. So this is what you really need. You can use the fine grain token, which is basically what level of access you would want to use. You can generate new token, or you can use the token, the basically the classic version. So I will say dev token. Okay, and owner me. Let's make it for 90 days. Description. Okay, repository access. Okay, and it has access to selected repo. Now you can actually select which repo you really want to have access to, and I can say, okay, I want to use this one too. Okay, and I want to use this one. So I have access to, so this key which I have generated has access to these two repo. So either you could go all repo, all public repo, or selected repo. I use selected just for here. Let's generate the token. So this is the token I have. I will keep this token here, and then I will basically delete it after the demos. So even if you try to use it, don't use it, use your own. That's way smarter decision. So I will come back here, and now I will do this different method. So I will say git clone, and I actually want to use the token. This is the token I have. So what I have done is that I have pasted the token, and I control C. So now its token is available here for me. So there is old video I have actually created, and so I could say I can go to here. I can say 650 AI lab, YouTube, GitHub. Okay, let's come back here. This is our command. Let's stop it. So this is, so what we need to do is that we need to git remote. You need to say set URL origin and HTTPS. Okay, so what is your account name? So account name, as this point, as you see here, that when you are in the GitHub. Let's go to settings. Okay, so account name is Avkash650 colon, this is your token. Then after you need to say @github.com/ okay, so account name again Avkash650 and then the repo. So repo name, actually I want to have the access to public coding, for example. Enter. Let me see, public coding. Okay, let me see the URL, public coding, HTTP of course, public coding. Let me see if they are want to use the Git or not. Git remote origin, GitHub. Okay, HTTPS webpack account name colon GitHub token at github.com/account name and then public coding. Let me just verify one more time here. Okay, so let me see. So let me see which video we have selected. Oh, sorry, this is for update GitHub token. We need to look into the previous version, which is the just using the very first time. Let me come back here. My bad. Again, that's the beauty of being unscripted. I'm gonna go back, look into the GitHub. Okay, so command is really, so this is if your key has been updated, means you created 90 days key and then suddenly your key has expired or you deleted the key, now you want to reuse your key. So that is command for that. So we're gonna stop this, and the command is because we are basically cloning. So git clone, and the command will be git clone https, and then you put your key, then after at the rate github.com/avkash650 and public coding. There you go. And repo is empty. So as you could see, I could clone here. I can go to public coding. I can come here and I can say touch readme.md. I can say vi readme.md and I can say this is my first comment. Save it. One thing you realize that because we are using the terminal with G shell, it knows that which branch we are in this Git. Here, as you could see here, that right now we are in work folder and our repo is public coding. As soon as I change this to public coding, now you see, I know that I'm in main. So I can change the branches and then it will know the which branch I am. So here I can say git status. I have added this file. I can say git add. I can put dot, means add everything, or I can say just add only one file. Readme git commit -m, and I can say base readme is added. I can say git status. As you could see here, that is asking me to basically set the stream, so it will work. So this is the file which we have added. So I can say git commit. Okay, now that's okay. And then after I can say git commit. Okay, git status, and I can say git push, and it's going to tell me that okay. Let's come back to it. Say git denied. It means that we could pull the code, but we could not push it. Let's come back to here. The git settings, developer setting. tokens, fine grained tokens. This is the token we have. Okay, it new token. Okay, token name. Account permissions. Okay, no access. So I'm looking into the base new fine grained token. If you see here, account permission, by default there is no access everything. So what we need to do is that we need to account permissions. So let's say GPG key gist. Okay, okay, profile. Okay, let me create a new token. New token with write access 650 90 days. Okay, select repo. Let's choose to public coding, repository permission, action, workflow artifacts, key, collaboration, create and okay, attestations, code scanning, okay, code spaces, create, edit, delete, code spaces, life cycles, access, metadata, commit issue, commit status, access. So we can say no, read and write. So this key can do commit status. So that's why we really have to do this thing. Okay. Content commit branches. So we can say you can definitely do read and write. So commit status, content. Okay. And I can say that create the gist. So, okay, secrets, variable, webhooks, workflow. So I think that should be okay. Manage environment. Okay, deployment issues, they can access the issues. So now this setting has a lot more permissions built into, so I could say new token with write access. Okay, now the generate token. So now we have a different token here. Let's take this one. Okay, now what we need is that we need to change the cloning. So what we do is that we come back here, let's work, and now we will use this key. Let's use this git clone. Okay, that was our command. So we can leave this and say git clone https this one. And before even we are doing this, what we do is that we just call it mv public coding to public read only. RO means read only, because we could not push, we could not write on this one. So now we are creating the clone again, git clone https, and now we need to put the key here. So https, this is the key which has the permission to write. Okay, now we can say public coding. There you go. So okay, it's a public coding. So let's go to public coding here, and we can move the file which we have created earlier. So public coding, read only, readme, we are moving here. So we got file here, git status, git add, git commit. Okay, now you see git push, we could push it. So because we have created the key which has write access or the appropriate access to push, it can be pushed. And now I can go back, go to main, look into the repos, look into the public coding, and as you could see that our readme is here. So this is how, just using few lines of command, you can create the repo and you can access. So private and public. The commands are really simple, because what we have done is that this key we have created right now has only access to one repo. So we cannot use that key to clone the private repo, and we can actually see it. So now we already have done public coding. Let's come back here. Public coding is there. We can rm -f for public coding read only. So we don't really need that. So we have this. Now if we go to git clone, use the same key and say, can we use the private coding? and it say we don't have access because the key which we have here is not for public coding. So I can go back and I can create again key which has access to both repo. Let's go to settings, developer settings. Okay, I can say fine-grained token. I can say new token, full repo access, of course 60 for 90, of course 650. Okay, and I can say only selected repo, and this time I will use this repo. I can use public, so I have public and private repo permissions. I can come back here. I can say commit read write content read write. I can say access to issues. Okay, value set custom property. Okay, and then alerts, not this one, environment. Yeah, I'll give this. Okay, issues access. So this has a issues access. Merge queue, you have access to that. Okay, GitHub pages can be okay, but okay, pull request, I can have this one too. Okay, so alerts. Okay, and we have 7 permissions. Let's add this one. Okay, and now we could use this key. Okay, and we can say git clone this, and we can use remaining this. Let me see what is the private repo, private coding. It's a private oh HTTPS. Okay, now we have private coding. We can say readme. Okay, I can add one more line here. You can say role here. Okay, added new line, saved, git status, git add, git commit, comment added, git push. We have access to both, but now we have 2 separate keys, and we have created a new key which really covers both of them. So we need to update the key now, correct? So what we need is that very first thing, we will go and we will remove these keys. Okay, so let me go to settings, developer settings. Let's go here, fine grained, and let me this one full repo access. So let me go this one, delete, this one, delete. Now I want to use one key to manage both of them, repo. I will come back here. Now if you come back to public coding, git status, now you see here work, public coding here, git status. Okay, now if you try to change something, so view readme, second line, added, hit push. There you go, because the key is already deleted, so key is not working. So now what you really need is that you need to integrate the key which we have used in private coding, which have access to both repo, writable. We need to update it, and that's why the very first command which we were trying was not because that is the command which is used to change the key. And we will go back history, look into what was the command we were using, and this was the command we were using. Git remote set URL origin. Okay, so this is command we are going to use, origin, and we will use up to here. Okay, so we are here. Okay, then the key, so we need to use the key. Okay, and then key will be coming here, then at the rate. Okay, at the rate. So now we need to just come back here and put the key. Let's come back all the way down, and this is the cloning we have done with this key. Make sure it's there. There you go, the key is there, and we need for public coding. So we ran this command, git status. Okay, now you see git push, and there you go. So this is how you can actually work with GitHub, mostly command line, because I haven't used the Visual Studio Code or PyCharm to integrate, because I mostly work like this way. So creating a repo, whether it's a private and public, the only difference is in private and public, because private nobody can see it, public everybody can see it. However, you still need the developer access to push the code. You can clone a private repo without even any key, because you can clone a public repo without any key, because it's a public repo, anybody can see it, anybody can pull it. But if you want to make any changes, you want to do something like that, then you really have to go ahead and you need to work on it with the proper key, and this is how you are going to do it. So two command we use: clone with the right access, and then the updating the key so that you can have continuous access if there is any change in your key. Keys are very important. You do not let other people know your key, because then they can make changes to your repo just by just using one single command. So after this demo, I will just use the same command, but I will generate a new key and I will just bypass everything. Then even if you have access to this key, it will not work for you. So I hope that after watching this video, you are a better and more productive software engineer. Thanks for your time, and keep enjoying watching this video. Thank you.